This tutorial is for lesson 15, which goes over the hatch as well as the gradient command. And you're going to find that over here where it says hatch or fill. So I'm just going to give you a couple examples and then I'll get into the lesson. I'm going to go ahead, as you can see, I got a couple of the objects drawn from lesson 15A. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the hatch button. And as you can see, I have a number of different options, and I'll get into these in a minute. But I want to show you fill because the book doesn't really go into that too much. And this is basically when you want to fill things with colors. So, for example, if I want to fill it with something like this, that's kind of a lighter color, or you can go to a dark, or you can go somewhere in between where it's like a solid red, or you can mix two colors. You can, definitely do that as well. And maybe you want to mix, I don't know, red and black, or whatever it is. You can definitely do something like that. So I'm just going to leave it on one color. I'm going to leave it in the middle, try and get like a solid red if I can. Let's see. So somewhere around there would be good. And then what you're going to want to do is always choose specify points. And I'll click inside of this circle right here. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And then I always click preview to make sure that that's what I want to look like. If it is, you go ahead and right click your mouse. If it's not, you hit escape and it brings you back and you can make whatever changes you need to make and you should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit preview again, right click my mouse, and as you can see, there it is with a red circle. That's all one object, so I can select it and I can delete it and it goes away. So that's fill, and then hatch is putting in different patterns, different lines and things inside of these objects as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you 15A. I've drawn my circle, my rectangle, my triangle to the size that they asked for. I'm going to go ahead and click on hatch, and the first thing it asks me for in the rectangle is to use pattern ANSI 33. So you do have options here. Right now we are going to use predefined. Currently it's on ANSI 31, which ANSI is American National Standards Institute. And here are the other options: ISO, sample, or custom. And you're either going to be using ANSI, ISO, or sample. So again, this one asks for ANSI 33, which is that guy right there. Go ahead and click OK. It asks for a scale of 1 and an angle of 0. My angle is currently on 0, and I need to specify the points. I'm going to go ahead and click right there, and I always click on preview, and that is what it should look like. So I'm going to right click to accept the hatch. Next one is stars. So I click on hatch, click on specify points. I'm going to choose that, hit enter, and this one I'm going to keep it on predefined, but I'm going to go to custom, or no, sample, and I'm going to go down till I find stars. It is in alphabetical order, so here's stars down here, and I believe it says that the scale is 2 and the angle is 0, so that's what mine is currently on. We'll go ahead and hit preview, and there we go. Right click to accept it. And last but not least, we have the triangle, and with the triangle they want to do brick. So actually brick is up here near the top. There it is, brick right there. Go ahead and specify the points, and it looks like the scale is 1 and the angle is 0. I'm going to go ahead and preview that. That looks good. And I can tell because it has one little tiny layer on the bottom, which is exactly how it does in the sample. I'm going to go ahead and right click to accept that. And the only problem that I have here is all of these are currently on the object layer. That's okay, I can select them all and I can change them to the hatch layer, hit escape, and now my outside objects, my circle, my rectangle, and triangle are on the object layer, but my inside objects are on the hatch layer. So that's definitely something that you want to do. So that's 15A. And basically everything comes down to using this box right here and choosing all the options for the rest of lesson 15. I'm going to go ahead and go over 15C right now. I've kind of drawn this one off to the side. I've got a rectangle. I've got my text that I used in the middle. I used dynamic text, or DT enter, and I justified this in the middle center. And I simply just drew a line and snapped this to the middle of the line to make sure it is in the middle. But now I'm going to go ahead and use hatch. And this one it wants me to use, it looks like ANSI 31. So I'm going to go back here, maybe back to ANSI 31. And it wants a scale of 2 and an angle of 0. So scale of 2, angle of 0, specify my points. Go ahead and click here, and I'm going to preview it and right click and accept that. Again, this is currently on the object layer. I'm going to change it to the hatch layer, and that one is good to go. So that's basically what 15C should look like. Shouldn't have any problem with 15B as long as you follow the instructions. 15D, the trick to 15D when you use hatch is making sure, let's see, which one do they want us to choose? It looks like they want us to choose user defined. So I'm going to change this to user defined right here. And the key to making it double, as you can see, this has single lines. The key to making the double lines, in the book it tells you to click on the double box. We'll add intersecting lines. That is like the double box from AutoCAD. So this is definitely the one that you want to choose. And as long as you follow the other instructions on there, I'm sure you can figure that one out. But this, making sure you choose user defined here, and then add intersecting lines, and you should be good to go for that one. 15E, make sure you draw the multi-view drawing there. That's a side view as well as a top view, or it's actually a section view, and those 45-degree lines are section lines. You are going to put those on the hatch layer, but those show you where the object was cut. Let's see. 15F, you do get a chance to use gradient or fill as it's known. So that is one where you're going to want to use fill and use the appropriate colors. If you want to change the color and not use black or white, feel free to use a different color. I am okay with that, so you can test that out. And then 15G and 15H just kind of show you some different ways to change hatch around. Okay. One thing I do want to point out is that hatch currently is set up as one object. For example, when I click on these, you see there's only one grip in there. And so I can either move that or I can delete it, and it is all one thing. However, if I select this, I can explode it. So if I hit the explode button, I've now exploded this, and now everything is a separate entity. So you can do that. It's not something I suggest, because now if I want to get rid of this, it's much more difficult. As a matter of fact, one way I would probably get rid of this is I would turn off the object layer. So I'd go ahead and go here and click on this green dot right here, and it tells me that that is hidden. And now I would probably highlight that like so, and then now I can turn my object layer back on, and now I'm good to go. So that is definitely something you can do with layers, is turn them on and off. But I just want you to understand that hatches are all one piece. However, if you should need to, you can explode them as well. Okay, so that's it for lesson 15. We'll see you again with lesson 16.